Good afternoon from London, and hello from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, Chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche, Chairman of the UK Korean Friendship Association, and the official delegate of the KFA for the United Kingdom, and also President of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics. Thought, as I hadn't done a video for a while, I would make this short video, and I've made sure that I'm filming in clear daylight this time, so we shouldn't have any strange effects with the picture. And today I'm going to speak on the subject of COVID-19 or coronavirus, the DPRK and South Korea, which is obviously very topical indeed. Now, first of all, the mass media, or the bourgeois mass media, I should say, or mainstream media or imperialist media, have spread a lot of lies about the DPRK yet again, saying that there's been coronavirus cases in the DPRK. This is total nonsense. The World Health Organization, a UN body with which the DPRK cooperates very closely, and in fact actually has staff based in Pyongyang, have actually stated there are no cases of COVID-19 or coronavirus in the DPRK. This, of course, hasn't stopped some daft tabloid outlets from printing silly stories about people getting executed at public swimming pools for having the disease. Of course, no date is given for these events, or no name of the person alleged to be executed. And of course, when you trace the story back, it of course comes from the South Korean anti-DPRK lie factory. The folks who've continually said, oh, this or that person in the DPRK has been executed, only for them to turn up a few months later. So we know the source of this kind of rubbish. Now, the thing is, South Korea is spreading these stories particularly because it is in deep crisis. It is very badly affected by coronavirus or COVID-19, and the current and up-to-date information I have is that 1,766 people are affected in South Korea, and 13 people have died. Of course, the numbers may be higher than that. The South Korean puppet authorities may be covering up mass deaths from coronavirus. I mean, who knows? You cannot trust the South Korean puppets at all. And some of the rubbish being talked about the DPRK, saying its health service wouldn't cope with coronavirus. I mean, let's look at the facts. DPRK has a very high number of doctors. I believe the material I've seen said that they had 29 doctors per 10,000 of people, which is roughly about one doctor for every 300 people. And other sources I've seen have even put the number of doctors in the DPRK as high as 3.6 per thousand, which actually works out at one doctor for every 277 people, which I think is one of the highest numbers in the whole world, and it's certainly higher than the UK, higher than South Korea, I believe higher than the US. But I think the most important point is that the DPRK has a totally free health service Basically, in 1946, it started free medical care for industrial and office workers on an insurance basis. This was 2 years before the NHS in Britain. And then in 1953, when the country was in the flames of war, in January 1953, universal free medical care was introduced in the DPRK, and that was further buttressed by laws in 1960 and 1980. DPRK has a very advanced, people-orientated socialist health system. You have the section doctor system, which is quite remarkable, whereby doctors don't sit in a clinic and wait for patients to come to them. They actually do their rounds of localities and call on people to give them a checkup. And also, another reason why DPRK hasn't got any COVID-19 cases is that it took very early measures to stop the spread of the disease, such as shutting its borders very quickly, suspending international travel, quarantining any foreigners resident in the country, and carrying out mass disinfection of public places, and also propagating information about how to prevent the spread of the virus. So it's implemented a very robust program for checking the spread of this very serious illness. And I think, in conclusion, I think the fact that South Korea has got 1,766 cases and DPRK has none is a testimony to the superiority of the Juche-based socialist system over puppet South Korea, over the South Korean capitalist system. Anyway, I'll finish now. Please subscribe to our channel if you're not already a subscriber, and please come to the events of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea and the UK Korean Friendship Association. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.